Welcome to ASEAN Today. I'm Raissa Chentami of the Indonesia channel in Jakarta.
Swadika, I'm Bunnag of Thai PBS World in Bangkok, and this is your weekly look at the dynamic Southeast Asia region. We begin in Myanmar, where protests against the military coup turned deadly.
Street demonstrations across the country continued weeks after the February 1st takeover. Protesters are demanding a return to civilian rule and the release of leader Aung San Suu Kyi, and there is skepticism of the military promise to hold a new election and hand power to the winner. A young woman died on February 19th after being shot in the head as police dispersed the crowd in the capital. We have the global response to the coup coming up in our Hot Seat segment.
Protests also continued here in Thailand, targeting the law prohibiting people from insulting the monarchy. Hundreds gathered outside Parliament in Bangkok on February 19th, a demonstration that coincided with the censure debate against the government of Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha. Protesters demanded monarchy reform through a revision of the constitution, immediate release of leaders detained for royal defamation, and the Prime Minister's resignation. Security forces arrested at least 7 people after protesters fought with the police. Those convicted of insulting the monarchy would face up to 15 years in prison.
Here in Indonesia, at least 10 people were killed in a landslide in East Java, with rescue teams still searching for 9 others missing. Soldiers, police, and volunteers took part in the search in East Java's Nganjuk district. The mud that slid down from surrounding hills on February 14th covered at least 8 homes, injuring 14 people. Pasuruan was also flooded after a river overflowed due to heavy rains, forcing more than 350 people to leave their homes. And rescue operations were needed in the capital Jakarta due to severe flooding caused by seasonal storms. More than 1,300 residents were evacuated from southern and eastern areas of the city after floodwaters reached nearly 2 meters high on February 20th. Indonesia's meteorology agency forecast the heaviest rain of the season with thunder and strong winds. The floods came at a time when Indonesia is already dealing with the highest COVID-19 caseload and death total in Southeast Asia.
A slump in demand for most of 2020 meant low prices for palm oil in Malaysia, but prices have surged late in the year and now near the highest levels in almost a decade. ASEAN Today's Wendy Widiantini reports.
Malaysia's crude palm oil prices have surged to their highest since 2011. This is providing a much-needed boost to the economy hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic.
It's been an amazing rocketing up of prices. After the severe lockdowns that happened early on in the pandemic, there's this pent-up demand.
Supply shortages amid the pandemic have also contributed to the rising prices.
There was a shortage of supply that did drive the prices up, not just palm oil alone, even all the vegetable oils. If you look at the vegetable oil stocks in all over the world, whether it's soya bean, rapeseed oil, sunflower oil, there has been a reduction in stocks and production.
Malaysia's crude palm oil stockpiles are low, and big buyers, including China and India, have been building up their stock. Malaysia earned more than $17 billion from palm oil export last year, so the commodity's high prices are a welcome boost to its economy, which experienced its worst contractions in decades due to the pandemic.
Even in 1998, during the financial crisis, it was palm oil that supported the economy at that time. So palm oil is, you can say, always coming to the rescue of the economy.
Malaysia's production is being hit by weather factors, as well as a shortage of migrant foreign workers who do the specialist harvesting work. Palm oil supply is expected to remain tight until the middle of the year, with prices correspondingly high. Wendy Widiantini for ASEAN Today.
More ASEAN Today is coming up shortly.
Global leaders have their say in Myanmar's leadership crisis. They're in the hot seat next.
You're watching ASEAN Today. I'm Bunnag in Bangkok.
And I'm Raissa Chentami in Jakarta. The United Nations called for the release of detainees and the restoration of democracy in Myanmar after the military seized power on February 1st. Leaders in the region and across the world reacted similarly. They're in the hot seat.
Today, I call on the Myanmar military to stop the repression immediately. release the prisoners, end the violence, respect human rights and the will of the people expressed in recent elections. Coups have no place in our modern world. I welcome the resolution of the Human Rights Council, pledged to implement your request and express my full support to the people of Myanmar in their pursuit of democracy, peace, human rights and the rule of law. The constitution of Myanmar is not perfect. It's a constitution that gives the military enormous power, but at least that constitution should be respected. And what I can say to the people of Myanmar is that we will be doing everything we can in order to make the international community be aware of the dramas faced by the people of Myanmar, and to do everything possible, from ASEAN to the Security Council of the United Nations and to the different other international fora, to support what needs to happen is a return to the constitutional order, is a return to democracy, is respect of the will of the people expressed in the elections.
Kita berharap perbedaan politik itu dapat diselesaikan sesuai dengan hukum yang berlaku, dan untuk mewujudkan visi komunitas ASEAN, penting bagi kita semua untuk terus menghormati prinsip-prinsip piagam ASEAN, terutama prinsip rule of law, good governance, demokrasi, hak asasi manusia, dan pemerintahan yang konstitusional.
Seperti Indonesia, Malaysia juga memandang serius akan keadaan politik semasa di Myanmar yang merupakan satu langkah ke belakang dalam proses demokrasi di negara tersebut. Adalah dikhawatiri pergolakan politik di Myanmar boleh menjejaskan keamanan dan kestabilan di rantau ini.
We've been a long-standing supporter of Myanmar's democratic transition, including the election. Clearly there are very significant hurdles for them still to overcome, and the tensions are still very present. We have joined in a statement last Friday opposing any efforts to alter the election outcome and urging the military and all parties to adhere to democratic norms.
中国是缅甸的友好邻邦，我们希望缅甸各方在宪法和法律的框架下妥善处理分歧，维护政治和社会稳定。国际社会的任何行动都应有助于缅甸的政治和社会稳定，有助于缅和平和解，避免激化矛盾，使局势进一步复杂化。我们已经多次阐述了中方在缅甸问题上的立场。关于缅甸正在发生的事情呢，我们希望缅甸各方以人民的意愿和利益为重，通过对话，在宪法和法律框架下妥善处理分歧，维护政治和社会稳定。
The UN fears that the coup will also worsen the situation of 600,000 Rohingya Muslims being persecuted in Western Myanmar. More ASEAN Today is coming up shortly.
An inside look at the effects of COVID-19 on tourism here in Thailand, that's ahead. This is ASEAN Today.
And we are coming to you this week from Jakarta and Bangkok. The global coronavirus pandemic has made travel extremely challenging, but families in Singapore have found different ways to reunite for special days, as ASEAN Today's Aisha Nadira reports.
For the last 5 years, 75-year-old Xu Zhaodi has been traveling from Shanghai to spend the Chinese New Year with her daughter's family in Singapore. Despite the hassle and discomfort of having to undergo multiple COVID-19 tests and spend at least 2 weeks of quarantine alone in a hotel, Xu decided that this year would be no different.
She decided to come. I want her to be here for the Chinese New Year because every year she spends the New Year here. But of course, this year, because of this situation, I'm also very hesitant. If anything happened along the way, if anything happened during the journey.
To Sharon and Zhaodi, Chinese New Year is not only about family gatherings, but also about keeping traditions alive through food, such as the must-have reunion dish for the Xu family.
For my mom, she came here every year is to design the dishes. She has mixed with what is very traditional to us, our hometown egg dumpling, with a very Singapore-style fishball and other ingredients along the way to make a reunion dish.
Some are fortunate enough to be reunited with their family members, but others do not have the luxury to travel home. Those unable to celebrate face-to-face are taking their gatherings online. Li Mei is a mother to a 3-year-old boy. She left her family to work in Singapore as a primary school teacher in 2018. Li planned to return home every Chinese New Year and during school holidays, but due to the pandemic, she has not been home since August 2019.
My parents stayed with my grandma. My husband stayed with my son and his parents, and I'm here. So we will take the reunion together on the video call.
Li said the thing she misses most during this festival season is her mother's cooking. Despite being miles away from her loved ones, Li said she is grateful for the good health of everyone in her family and finds solace in the fact that at least she can join them virtually as they begin the Year of the Ox. Aisha Nadira for ASEAN Today.
Here are several events on the ASEAN calendar. The Bangkok International Fashion Fair is set for March 10th to the 14th in Thailand. Balinese across Indonesia will celebrate the Day of Silence Nyepi on March 14th. And GeoConnect Asia will take place from March 24th to the 25th in Singapore. One of the world's largest outdoor markets has been taking a big financial hit due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and a second wave of virus transmission has already arrived in Thailand. ASEAN Today's Faisal Atsim reports.
Bangkok's Chatuchak Market is the beating heart of Thai food culture, covering an area of 27 acres with more than 50,000 booths. It offers goods from every part of the country, usually attracting more than 200,000 visitors each day. But the pandemic has left this destination a shadow of its former self. With the lack of foreign tourists and locals staying at home despite the market's strict disease control measures, the numbers of visitors to the market has dropped by 90%. With little income, many shops at the market have shut down.
When there were foreign tourists, we could sell a lot, but now our sales have reduced by more than 90%. All day I just sit and wait for customers. Some days I don't make any sales at all.
We are trying to sell online and approach our customers directly. We adapt in every way we can, change the prices, change the way we do business. Our sales dropped more than 50%, but selling online helps us survive.
The government is trying to relieve the situation, reducing rent by 50% and imposing strict measures to prevent the transmission of the virus.
The safety measures are important to boost consumer confidence. We have temperature checks at every entrance, compulsory mask wearing, and social distancing, but we cannot deny that the consumer behavior of people has changed.
Thailand's pandemic-shattered economy suffered its most full-year performance in more than 2 decades, with tourism suffering and ongoing political turmoil. Vendors hope normalcy and visitors return soon. Fauzul Azim for ASEAN Today.
We like hearing from you throughout the ASEAN region and the world. All of our episodes are posted on YouTube, so check us out there. If you can't find us on your local TV channel, then let us know what you're thinking or what you want to see on the program. Email us at ASEANTodayTV@gmail.com, post something on our Facebook page, or tweet us at ASEANTodayTV. Those who feel comfortable enough to venture out in Bangkok are enjoying a unique international venue.
A realistic tribute to San Francisco is embedded in one of the capital's biggest tourist stops. This is what you'll see at the heart of the Terminal 21 Mega Mall, a massive Golden Gate Bridge spanning 2 entire floors. There are heart sculptures inspired by Tony Bennett's signature song, Cable Cars, and lanterns in the mall's Chinatown district. Each of the mall's 3 locations is themed with a tourist destination in mind, including the Caribbean, Hollywood, London, and Tokyo. If you can't travel, at least you can go to this mall. And that's ASEAN Today for this week. I'm Nad Bunnag of Thai PBS World in Bangkok.
And I'm Raissa Chentami of the Indonesia channel in Jakarta. Terima kasih. Please join us again next time for ASEAN Today.